You can have one English word translate 5 different Hebrew words, and the reverse is true. You can have, 5 different English words represent one Hebrew word. You say, well, why is that important?
The Hebrew mindset, the Hebrew text, like why is that for a pastor and a follower of Jesus? Why is that? Why do you guys think that's so important?
There are things that, and I'm going to try to be specific here. I don't know how well it'll translate to a discussion, but there are things, if you can read the original text, that will jump out at you more readily than if you're reading English. And here's my illustration. A lot of people don't realize that when you encounter an English word in an English Bible, that English word is not used every time a particular Hebrew word is used. You can have one English word translate 5 different Hebrew words, and the reverse is true. You can have, 5 different English words represent one Hebrew word. You say, well, why is that important? It's because if you're able to read the text in Hebrew, you will notice when you're reading different passages, you will see an overlap in vocabulary, and you'll see clusters of words that occur like in 2 or 3 different places that you would not see in English. If you're a Hebrew reader, you instinctively know, okay, what I'm reading here sounds like this passage over here. And maybe I should be sort of thinking about these 2 in tandem, or these 3 passages or 4 passages. And that's actually what biblical writers want you to do. They do that so that you do think of this passage. And then when now you have these 2, go to this one over here. And this is how you sort of connect dots, and you connect threads of thought and even of story, in a book, in the Bible. But you can't do that in English because the translation sort of gets in the way. So that's just one aspect. Think about how you read a novel, okay? When you read fiction, when you read a novel, you have sort of an intuitive sense that, okay, what happened in this scene is probably going to echo somewhere else. I'm going to see that car again. I'm going to see this building again. I'm going to hear this word again. It's just sort of built in because we know when we read fiction, that's what fiction writers do. They want to steer our mind in certain directions. And we can do it in a novel because we're reading English words. We know when we run into that again, we're supposed to, there it is. I'm supposed to remember this scene back here. I'm supposed to connect these 2 people because they're in the same place. Okay, we just know that. But if you can't read the text in Hebrew, you lose when the writers are trying to do that same thing to you in the Bible, because the English sort of puts a roadblock in between it.